Alright, what is up guys and welcome back to another video. I wanted to cover a few of the talent trees, where to put your points and where to put your points for depending on what you're doing. Now, as you can see currently on the screen, I am going to look at the growth talent. Growth. Do you like my little editing? Not editing, little doodles. Anyway, the tree you're seeing right now is my growth tree. Now I put this tree on whenever I am just not fighting at all. I'm just calmly sitting somewhere, shielded, with an anti-scout, or whatever, just relaxing. I'm not planning to fight. Now this is the tip. This is the tree that you should be on if you are just doing nothing to do with battle, which I would recommend using this tree for the first a good few million might that you gain, and then when you start looking into your attack gear and such, then you begin making different trees. Now, let me go through this tree for you. So, what you're gonna do is at first you ignore the left-hand side, the squad offense, and you go to and you try to make your way down to get as much construction and research as possible without spending points and other things. Now, in order to go down to the next one, you do not need to actually put points fully in these here. So if you put 2 in food production and 2 in stone, that is the minimum, you're able to access construction speed and research. So what you're going to do is you're going to put 10 points in construction speed and 10 points in research. Then you're going to carry on down into timber production, put 2 points into that, 2 points into ore production, and then you have to put points into, you have to put a total of 5 points to keep going down. So you're going to do 5 points on that, and then 5 points in stone, 5 points in ore, and then you reach construction and research. Then you will apply the maximum amount of points that you can in both construction and in research, and you're going to end it there. Now, once you have done that, I recommend going back up the tree, and hopefully you have some remaining points at this point, and you're going to now start on the left hand side. You will then need to put in 2 points into your offensive, 3 points into your cavalry offensive, and then 3 points into your trap building, and apply a total of 15 points into your training speed. Now, you'll continue putting the minimum amount of points, which is 3, into these here, which is range defensive and infantry offensive, squad defensive, squad health, and then obviously you begin to having to put in 5 points. You keep making your way down all the way, putting in the minimum points in each one until you get back to training speed. Now, once you get back down to training speed, you will then want to max it. You want to put as much points as you can into training speed, and that's it. Now, if you have any points remaining, you will then need to go here and put in as many points as you can into gathering. That will work out best for you because then you can gather and at the same time train troops at the maximum speed the tree allows you, and research and construct things as fast as you possibly can without involving buildings and gear. Now, obviously, I should have actually put more points into gathering than I did, more points in gathering than max load. You should focus on getting your gathering first and then look into your load. But either way, it works out pretty well. Now, this is my growth tree. So I'm going to slowly just go down so you can just take a quick look again. And that's pretty much it. You may want to focus less on these two here. By these two, I mean these here. You may want to focus less on those and actually put your points more so into oh, whoops, did not mean to do that. Come on, there we go. And put more points into this one here, and then go back to the gathering up above and then do the same thing. The reason I have mine like this is because I actually um, wanted some more max load because I wanted to have the smallest amount of troops out gathering as possible, because if I go to bed and I'm not shielded or I'm unable to shield, they will return and they will be perfectly fine, because there will only be a few thousand of them rather than 100,000 or whatever running around. Now, let me look at another tree that I have. Now, this is my attack tree. Now, this tree is made for when you're specifically getting ready to attack. You you want to be as strong as possible. You don't want to mess around. So when you are out there with your sword ready to battle, you want to have as much attack, I'm sucking at this, as possible. I don't know. Anyway, excuse the shitty doodles. Now, what you want to do in this, mainly in this tree, you want to first focus on skills, talents that actually provide bonuses for your entire army. So if you click on squad offensive, you will see that this gives a boost to your whole army, not a specific type of troop. So what you're going to do is you're going to put 5 points in the squad offensive, and like in the previous tree, you're going to put the minimum points for the following one to open up. And you're going to put 3, 3, 3, then I put 15 because that is for your whole army, increases army defense. That applies to all your troop types. That's infantry, that's ranged, etc. Same goes for health. And then you progress down the tree until you get to those stats. So you put in 5 in offensive, 5 in infantry, 5 in cavalry, and then ignore that, you put 5 in infantry, excuse that, and then you keep on going down, putting 5 into cavalry and ranged until you get down to squad defense and squad health. Those are much more important than the 2 that you see up here. Now you're going to want to max this one here and this one here as much as you can. Now when you do that, if you're at a certain level, you will have extra remaining points, and now you're going to have to evaluate your squad. You have to look at your team and think which troop you have the most, or which troop would you like to be the strongest. Now, as you see here, I have put the most points into ranged offensive and ranged cavalry offensive because, as you can see here, I'm going to back out for a moment. If you go look at my troops, here is my army. I have quite a few stealth snipers, and I'm working back on getting my cavalry. Now, once I finish rebuilding stuff, I will have more cavalry and snipers than I do royal guards, although I'm going to try to keep it fairly balanced when I'm attacking. Now, because of that, when I go here into my skill tree and I look at my attack, I put in the remaining points into the 2 here, and I max them all the way to 50. But once those are done, I then put 5 points, as you can see, where is it? Right here, into the infantry offensive, because I just had 10 points left over and I was not too sure where to put them. But you can put your remaining points into obviously the number 3 ones, because those give you the most percent wise. Always number 3 gives you much more. As you see, timber production here gives you way more than timber production up above, as you can see here. So always put into 3. So you max whichever you think is your main troop. A lot of people have quite a lot of ranged heroes or a lot of infantry heroes. It's also based on your heroes. And if you want more about heroes, you can check out the other video I made. But for me, I use a lot of ranged and I use a lot of cavalry. So I put the most points into ranged and cavalry. Now, those are the 2 main trees that I look into. And I believe that with these 2 trees, you're pretty much sorted for whatever needs you have. That I know it applies to both being careful and just farming, which obviously requires the most construction and research, as well as gathering. And then when you get into offensive, the overall army boosts, such as this one here, this one here, this one here, and these 2 here. Once those are maxed, then you obviously put points, like I said, into whatever is good for you. And that pretty much concludes how you should be doing your skill trees. almost everybody will first tell you to focus onto your construction and to focus onto your research. And I know that by about level 29, level 30, you will be able to complete construction speed 1, research 1, and construction 2 and research 2. And that will give you huge bonuses. You can see here 65% on your construction and research, is obviously, as well as the bonuses that you get from this one, 40. So hopefully this gives you a good idea of what to do with your skill tree. So I'm going to leave it there, guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks.